maybe this is why I'm talking about 50 years ago. I'm not saying that women were better or women were worse or men were better or men were worse 50 years ago. I just feel like we had more understanding for one another.
I really don't think so. I think we had no understanding of one another, and that's why there was like a really big disconnect. Just because we're seeing some relationships lasting for 50 years, what kind of relationship? You just want longevity. People just longevity, but what was their quality too?
I think, yeah,
Like,
I think longevity is a
no.
symbol of quality. Why? Because, like, what we need to remember,
Okay,
we need to remember is that we need each other. Like, we are not, in prison when they want you to be the most depressed, what do? They put you in solitary confinement. There's nothing like not seeing people, not talking to people, being lonely. I'm not saying that we should be in a relationship because we're so afraid of being lonely. I'm saying we have a natural inclination to be with one another when we're 70 years old and we're not looking for girl and you're not looking for man, you want somebody there if possible. And if that person can be somebody you've been in a relationship for a long time, that is better than trying to look for someone new in the later stage of life. So then the point that I'm making is that what I feel like we're missing is the understanding to be able to work through it, because in relationships you have so much ups and downs, and there is points in time where you might not, like, could you imagine this concept in today's society? Or me and my wife hated each other for a year. We just stayed together. Like, it's not possible in our generation. Our
it's
generation
it
throw
is
that relationship
possible.
in the bin.
I get that. I
Our
get that.
generation.
I get that. But I mean, I don't have the answer to that. I've never. I don't know if I could be with someone that I hate and that I despise when I look at them like every day for a year. That's just not who I am. And then maybe that means I'll never be in a long term relationship. Maybe that's the result. But I know that on every step of the way, I'm gonna do my best. You know.
But then this is what I'm saying. Like, that maybe that man and woman of the earlier years were able to have more understanding, and because maybe we didn't have this social media, so we didn't see the world all the time, so we didn't feel like we had as many options. And it's like,
Probably missing out.
do you know what?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, me and my missus, yeah, we're in Gambia,
Yeah.
right? I've moved from where I grew up
Mm-hmm.
to this crazy country, and Gambia is just crazy. Like I said, I'm so happy that I don't know nothing about the women in Gambia. The women, there's beautiful women. It's a beautiful country, but I'm so glad I don't know anything about the women there, because it's like, if I'm a single guy, what they think of my financial position is compared to them over there, chasing these girls around, life is just going to be so uncoordinated, unstructured. I'm not going to be able to get anything done.
Hmm.
But so I'm there with my wife, and I'm like, at times she's driving me crazy, whatever. But the idea of like breaking up is like, oh my gosh, what the hell? I would be alone in this place. She would be alone in this place. You know what I mean? Which is even a crazier concept for me. My
Hmm.
daughter, like, the idea of coming apart is not easy. It's not, because we're over there and we're in this crazy kind of environment where it's like we need each other. We're all we've got. And at the end of the day, like I say, in those days when the sun is hot, when you're just alone, and I've just had the day of the worst day ever, coming home to that is just everything.
Hmm.
So, like, I feel like that is worth the shit time sometimes. That is worth not, like, feeling each other in this short term period, because once we get through this, we're gonna find new ways to go with each other. And now we've got so much access to information. Like, why are we actually angry at each other? Why? That doesn't make sense to just be angry at each other for a year. Like,
Hmm.
let's find ways to get together. And I just feel like our generation are not in that place
Mm-hmm.
emotionally
Yeah.
to actually be able to, like, see each other
Hmm.
past our scars, because when it's honeymoon period, everything's good. Like I say, there's certain stuff that you love now, in a year's time, them same things you're gonna hate. You know what I mean? So then it's like, how are you gonna get to 18 months and fall back in love to that? How are you gonna get to 10 years and fall back in love with those things that you loved at the start, but in the middle you found it hard to love? And that takes a little bit of patience, that takes a little bit of understanding, and that also takes maybe a little bit of understanding of each other's roles. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that it's like, listen to me because I'm controlling. I'm saying it's like, okay, I'm a man, I'm the leader of this family. Sometimes I'm going to need you to listen to me. You're a woman. When it comes to these things, I'm going to listen to you. When it comes to these things, you're going to lead the way. When it comes to understanding the emotional stuff, the spiritual stuff in our family, I'm gonna have to give way to you. At the same time, some of the times you're gonna have to give way to me. And understanding that it's not always a power battle, even though someone might sound like they're controlling or sounds like I'm listening to someone, it sounds like my feelings are not being, you know, given the full attention right now. You know, I'm gonna think about tomorrow, and tomorrow's gonna make it more sense. Make it make more sense.
I mean, and that's what I've always been saying. Like when I had a conversation with somebody the other day who was quite like one of those, Sarah Garvey.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
He seems. I like his stuff online. He's still a bit wild, but I
okay.
like
Anyways,
it.
let's not get into that. But it was just like about who's the leader and who's the boss at home, and it's just like for me, not one person can be the boss of everything. Like you just said, everybody has their natural gifts. Yeah, usually they're also gender specific, but sometimes some things are just natural, individual to the person. And I think you come together and you figure that out, and everybody has their roles. But it's not like all women have that role, all men have that role, and the man always is the leader and makes the decision and is the boss of everything. There's some things you're not gonna be the boss of,
But don't you feel like men that
and
are
there's some,
not
yeah.
allowed to be boss or get effeminized in that way, or do you believe that they can fully fulfill all their masculine beings or what it is to be a man? Because I'm not saying what it is to be a man is to be controlling. I'm saying let's understand what that is right now. Can he still be that full man if a woman's there making all the decisions?
That's what I've just said. It's not about. I don't know why everything always has to be so absolute. Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
one
like
person
everyone's
makes
different,
all the
basically.
decision, or that person makes all the
Nah,
decision.
nah, nah,
Like
nah, nah. Of course,
everybody
it's
has
give
their
and take.
own
Yeah,
expertise,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
at the end of the day,
Agreed.
we are making one decision together. Yeah, and then, oh, and then it's not like you make all the decision or I make all the
No, I
decisions,
agree. I agree.
or it's like it's not just as a couple and as a unit you make one decision together anyways, yeah.
Facts. Facts.
And then second is like, well, depending on what you're naturally more knowledgeable of, or naturally more inclined to, like, it, what is your role, that's when you have more input. And oh, I don't actually know much about this thing. Oh, you say we should do that, let's do it.
Okay, but what about for your life?
For my
Especially
life,
as the woman. Yeah, your life.
yeah,
So you got this man in your life.
yeah,
You want to do something. I don't know what it is. It could be, there's a million things we could say. You want to go on holiday with your girls,
yes.
right? So you two are living together. You've been living in your life. He's there. You want to go on holiday with your girls. He doesn't want you to go.
Well, never.
Not never. This particular instance, at this point, this holiday, he doesn't want you to go for his reasons, and you don't agree with those reasons.
I would love to say that I would respect that and not go.
But where's the but? I can
Depends,
hear.
because
I
it's
hear the
difficult.
but.
It's
You know what I
difficult.
mean? I
Like, for
feel like.
example, if my girls were going to a girls' holiday to Miami Memorial Weekend, yeah, and he knows my girls are super single and they got all the guys paying for everything X Y Z, and he's like, babe, like I really don't feel comfortable with that. I'm not going. That's fine with me. I get that. And I feel like in past relationships, I kind of made the mistake to be like, whatever. Um, but actually, in past relationship, my guy never said anything. So maybe deep down he had an issue, but he wouldn't voice it. So that's your
Well,
problem.
and
I'm
this is
sorry.
what I'm trying to. This is what I was speaking to just now. That energy is a little bit of a little bit of a feminine energy. Not to I'm not to disrespect my man or at all, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day we've all got that feminine energy. Even me, I know that there's definitely times when my missus is saying stuff and I'm like, look, you know you want to say something, but you don't want to hassle, so you just keep that quiet. I'm not saying, and that's not necessarily feminine energy, but that thing of wanting to say something, wanting to
No,
impose
that's
it,
not
and not
feminine
feeling
energy. That's picking your battles.
it's picking your battles. But then
Yeah.
also, men are more forceful where women are more allowing. So that energy of allowing, that is more feminine. So if I've now done that so much now that I don't have no control of what's going on in my home, like you say, that's now gonna do stuff to that man. I don't know that that's necessarily
training.
Yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily fulfilling him. So that's why for me in my home, I'm often like because I'm one of these guys. Like I'm very like I'm very very sure on what I'm sure of. I
Yeah.
didn't need to watch anything online to be the kind of guy that would control what goes on in my home. I'm not the kind of guy that gets disrespect in my home. And like you said, it's not about disrespecting
And
anyway.
sorry, if you feel like you need to control your woman, I think you chose the wrong one.
I don't think, but look at that thing about the thing about the holiday. That's a natural thing that can happen on
Yeah,
any
but you know
to
what?
happen
But
to
that's what I'm
anything.
saying. That's
And
what I'm saying. It's about
women
your
are more
reason.
feelings based. They're feelings
It's
based.
about your
So if it sounds like
reason.
fun, you're gonna. Why wouldn't I go? He's thinking of all these other reasons,
I
like,
get
rah,
that.
I'm
I
not going,
get
but you're
that.
not gonna think like that. You're thinking, rah, it sounds free holiday. I'm gonna go. My man's thinking about all these other
I
things.
get that. And that's why
So
I said I wouldn't go. Okay. But like if it's something else, like all my friends are going like to like a girls' holiday to like some countryside or just to Morocco and
mm,
just see the beach and stuff like that. That's and you telling me you just don't want me to go because you don't want me to go. No, I'm sorry. Like these are my friends, especially my friend group. We like to travel together. We don't live in the same country. If we see each other, we're probably traveling together. And I get if I go to one of those super single lit party holidays, which I can't see myself doing anyways because that's just not my thing.
mm.
But if then that's fine. Like I get that reasoning. You're uncomfortable. Like wow, what are you even doing there? Like you know what are you looking for? But if it's really like a calm holiday, like I know I'm going with my friends somewhere where there's just a beach and it's just us, like us five women in like a hut together in nature and stuff like that, like sorry, that's one thing like I really don't understand,
Do you think
especially
it's
if because my friends don't even live here. If their friends were all
yeah, I
here
hear that.
and then maybe,
But
but these are kind of things like you have to come up with a reasoning. It's not just like
But do you think it's natural that in a relationship dynamic to have a tension of, as a woman, you're going to want to go places and
yeah.
go to parties and go to these places and do this kind of stuff, and then a man would naturally not want you to go?
I
Do you
find
think
that
it's
okay, yeah, I get
and you think
that.
it's natural, like when you decide to go in a relationship versus like, okay, say you're single today and tomorrow you're in a relationship. Do you know that the difference, or do you feel like the difference is kind of control of your kind of movement like that? Do you get it? I'm not you trying to use the word control, but
It's difficult sometimes. Let me tell you about a story that
mm,
actually I went through in New York.
mm,
So there's this one guy I matched with on Tinder
okay,
like a year ago,
mm,
and he was from New York,
mm,
and he was just saying, "Oh, like I'm in London and my friend is here." Like he's just literally actually just looking for cool people to hang out
mm,
with, and if he wants to meet, if it's like his last night and he's with his boy, and if I have a friend, we can all go like just have a drink together.
mm,
Then I was like, okay, fine, let's do that, and we all like went for a drink, and it was a really good time. We played my game, we were just chilling.
mm,
Of course, he was giving me, I remember he was giving me a lot of compliments saying I'm beautiful, and then like, we had really good conversation. I'm a package. Yeah. But he never like moved to me.
okay,
Just saying like I'm a queen and
mm,
blah 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 blah.
mm,
And we left it like that. And then sometimes like and we were all four together. Even my other friend, she went to New York. She went up to meet with him.
okay,
But just like it
cool
felt
people,
really platonic.
yeah,
Obviously, he
yeah,
wouldn't push me off the back, but it felt
yeah,
really just like a cool guy. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And then now when I went to New York, and we've been always in contact a little bit, he was always like, "Oh, if you ever come to New York, you can sleep on my
sure,
couch,
okay,
Not
yeah,
like, oh, come over. But he was like, you can just
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
We
like
sort something out
you're
with
good,
friends,
basically,
yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
just you don't have to get a place.
mm,
So when I got to New York now, I was messaging him and it's like, oh, I'm coming to New York and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, cool, let's like meet up or something like that. If he was like one of those guys who's constantly trying to move to me, I would have never want to see him.
mm-hmm,
But because he was just cool, he's quite like he's a creative,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and he's just a cool guy. So I was like, yeah, let's meet up. And then I remember being in New York and I was with my guy and I told you he's such an introvert.
mm,
So I didn't really know like if I'm with him and I'm in New York too, like for me to
yeah,
come out of my shell to just go up to people, I
mm,
was like, I can't do this. I was really anxious about it.
mm,
So one time before I go to sleep, I'm like stressing because I already told him I'm gonna do it, and then saying I'm going to do something and not ending up doing it,
You already told this guy that you're gonna meet up with him.
No. I already told my guy that I'm
Yeah.
dating. Like, I'm
Okay.
gonna create this content in New
Okay,
York,
okay,
and I
okay,
was
okay.
started getting cold feet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna stand there by myself in the
Okay.
middle of London,
Yeah.
and people gonna be middle of New York, and people gonna be rude and everything. Then I was thinking, shit, like I need this guy because he's a creative, he's outgoing, he's like, ha ha ha. I know if I'm
And he
next to
knows
this
his
guy,
he knows his city. Yeah, it's gonna
then
be
and he's
easy.
gonna tell me where, and he's
Yeah.
gonna be there, put me in the mood, and
Exactly.
just And then I was like, but obviously this guy's taking me on this holidays, paying for everything. So I just told him about the whole situation, like I'm telling it now, and he's like, "Yeah, man, do it. Like, go, do the content with him, and do what you need to do. Like, I trust you." And then I went, and it was amazing, and I created like really good content, and it just did so much for me to actually go to New York and play my card game. Like the joy it brought me, and what also happened afterwards is that the guy was like, he really helped me. He filmed everything. She was like, "Oh, let's I'm gonna go to my friend's house. It's around the corner, and we're just gonna have like a drink. And if I wanna come, it's like a girl, and there's like her boyfriend there, and he's explaining me the situation between the girl and the guy, quite funny kind of thing. He's like, yeah, come for a little drink. Ideally, I didn't want to go because I was just tired. It's really draining talking to all these people. And then I was also wanted to go back. Then I thought, I don't know how my guy would see that. Like, okay, you can go and create the content, but now you guys want to go.
Yeah.
And then I was like really in between. I was like, and the guy was been waiting for me in the apartment all day. Like, obviously, he's looking forward for me to come back. And I felt so bad. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, oh shit, like I hate this relationship shit because you're like in the middle, like you feel like I shouldn't really be doing it because this guy invited me. And then I was so in the middle. But at the end I went. But I did feel like I shouldn't have gone.
Did the brother, was he trying to vibe you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. No.
That's good.
He just like we just had a few
Maybe
conversations.
them creative brothers.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
I don't
at
trust
all.
them creative brothers, you know.
He didn't. He didn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't have. But I even told him the story. I told him like I'm here with the guy that I'm seeing, and I told him that like I didn't lie to anybody. I wasn't like trying to lead anybody on to like help me with anything. I actually didn't even want him to film for me. I actually just wanted him to be there for more support. But he ended up filming and doing X, Y, Z, and I just thought it's also not nice. Like you come here, you support me, and then you kind of want to properly catch up.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, bye, thank you, I got what I want. So it was this kind of situation. And anyways, that same night, I went there for like an hour. I didn't even drink because I was so drained and tired. And then I went back to my guy that I'm seeing, and I explained to him what we did and everything, and there was no issue. This could have been such an issue for somebody else. And you know what I find so sad is that me meeting that guy and creating this content was so progressive for my life.
Yeah.
And there will be a guy next to you that just wants to like, it doesn't let anything, his ego over everything. No, you're not going to do. And I'm explaining to you the situation and everything.
Yeah.
But I could never be with a man that wants to block me like that.
Yeah.
Because this was not about anything like, you can't be insecure on that level if you're gonna be. I need a deeper connection with someone who understands me when I explain you something.
But what about? Do you think that there's a difference between like because even you understood that? Do you thinking that the drink was a bit like? Ugh.
Yeah.
So like, do you feel like there's a difference between him saying, "Yeah, go, I want you to go with the creative guy, and do the this thing," and then between that and you actually potentially going for the drink after. Obviously, it's cool that he was cool about even the drink as well. But would you feel like somebody who would have told you, "Right, you didn't need to go for the drink"?
Yeah, I would have been okay with that.
I would have
been okay with that. But at the same time, I would have then also explained to him, like I would have felt bad not going because, like I said, like it's also an interpersonal thing. Like it's a bit rude. Like you're catching up with somebody.
No, I
understand
that.
I didn't use him.
That.
It was nice. It was a favor. It was a nice catch up. But then after I'm like, bye. I've got what I want. This is not. It's not what you do. Like I'm just a really respectful human. But I would have understood
that if
he came to me and be like, that was not necessary.
And the thing is,
I would have understood that.
What's scary is that like you know what you were saying before about how like. You know, a man might have felt to say something, but he didn't say something, and maybe he did say something so much that it just got there. That it's like there's that line between, all right, cool, I'm gonna make sure that I don't do anything that's gonna make my woman feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And there's that line between, okay, my woman said something, and I'm saying that the more that a man can allow things to happen that he's not happy with, that just go on,
Yeah.
it affects him.
I 100%
Doesn't even
agree.
affect the relationship.
No, it does affect the relationship.
Eventually affects the relationship, but more it affects him,
I
his
agree with that,
perception of
100%.
himself, his way of understanding himself.
Yes,
and that's something I don't compromise on.
Yes,
I don't compromise on. And that's why I can sometimes come down hard, but I'm not being hard. I'm like, look, if you want to go, go. Do you know what I mean? If you want to go, go. We'll sort out. I'm not saying I'm leaving you. I'm not going to. But I'm saying when you come home, we're going to sort it out. And I'm going to understand. And if this thing's continue, if it continues, if you continue doing things that clearly are not okay for me, one day I'm gonna have to assess whether or not this relationship's right for me. It's not me saying I'm going to leave you. This is saying that's just gonna, and then also you are gonna assess whether I'm right for you or not. So do what you want to do, but I'm gonna make sure you know how I feel about this. I'll make your decision.
I agree. You know what? I mean? And I must honestly say, with my last relationship, that was like a big issue, because I remember me and him having issues sometimes, and then I would tell him, which was already really hard for me because I'm not very confrontational. I'm a peace by all means,
Yeah, but you're strong. You're peace by all means, but you're not like you're kind of you'll give them the heart first, and then everyone will walk there. It will be peaceful after. But you're gonna make sure it's known your position, and you're gonna make sure it's known.
No, when it comes to like jokey things or like everyday stuff, I can be harsh and say. But when it comes to the real things,
you're just
and I can't, like, it's really hard for me to address like real issues in a relationship. And I remember being in a relationship with him, and then sometimes we would have this talk about all the things that I don't like in the relationship and that hurt my feelings, and I don't like when he does. And he was listening, okay. And then I would also be like, is there anything I can do? Because I don't want to be here nagging and stuff. And then there's so many things. I'm sure I'm not perfect, I used to say to him. Like, what is it that you can say to me where you're not happy with that I can change? Nothing. Really? Nothing. And it's so funny, after we broke up, so many things come out, but it really pains me almost, because it's like, I ask you what's wrong.
Wow.
So many things, and some things I knew kind of was wrong, but because he was like, so no, that's actually okay. Is that okay? You wouldn't address it. Is that okay for you, babe? Yeah, it's fine. But now I see you posting Kevin Samuels on your Instagram every day. How? Where's this coming from? But where was the time when I asked you what's going on? You couldn't open your mouth. Sorry, 100%. But
you can't expect that.
I know he thinks in a way that some things I should just know. But can we stop assuming that people should just know and guess what you're feeling? Yes, I did have a feeling. Completely. I did have a feeling you didn't like that. But you know what I thought? Well, I'll ask him. He says it's okay. So maybe I'm just projecting, or I'm guessing what he feels.
And it's difficult because sometimes it's like your mind doesn't want to deal with those things. You are actually fucking up with something and you don't necessarily want to face that. So if someone doesn't communicate with you, or they don't communicate with you right, or you give them the opportunity to and they don't, you're going to take that as the excuse to say, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing because clearly it doesn't matter to you that much. And I don't feel like somebody can even be mad at you for being like that, because if you feel like you deserve a certain level of behavior, you have to believe enough to be able to communicate it. If you can't communicate it, then can't expect anybody to be mind readers.
Read your thoughts and then be angry.
But this is why I'm trying to say
one more thing. But let me say one more thing. I forgot it.
I was going to say that this is why I believe that understanding ourselves from a more traditional scope would make stuff easier for us.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, one thing, and I must honestly say, and that's when it comes to, I can't speak for all women, or I can't speak for, women and men, but I do think it kind of goes into that. I actually, and I say that to my guy now as well, because again, I have like a very nonchalant, do what you want kind of guy, but I, as a woman, we are chaos, man out the organization.
The standstill.
Please help me organize.
Like,
I love you. I love my partner. Please tell me what you need
Mm.
and how you want me to be. I'm just gonna be here doing what I want. Your direction, please.
So
I
difficult
wish
for man them
sometimes I wish
though.
my ex told me, you know what, I don't like when you do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's some direction for me. I
So
wanna, if
difficult for
I
man
love
them
you, I wanna be
though.
perfect for you as well. Not everything. You don't have to take it too
Yeah,
far. Like every
but
step I take, I can't have this nail polish. I can't. But I do want you to give me direction.
but sometimes it's like, if it's not natural to you, is it worth me saying?
Yes, of course. Of course. What do you mean natural?
Yeah, but sometimes
What do you
it's
mean
about
natural? My hair's afro. I'm straightening it. It's also
sometimes,
fine.
sometimes it's about, because sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
look, I don't want to be the one that has to tell you this. I want you to know it. But it's like,
But
I guess
relationships don't
it's
work
not about
like
mind
that.
reading. I get it. It's not about mind reading. I'm not the one. But I understand where it comes from in a man that's like, look, and especially with women as well, because you guys are so much joy. You're so much love. See, a man, right? A man isn't even able to really be happy if his business ain't right. He'll really be happy if his money ain't right. A man can wake up and all day, all he's thought about is the stuff he needs to do, the stuff he needs to do, the stuff he needs to do. Nothing else comes to mind. Whereas you guys, you're filled with like joy and whimsy and fun. Like, I'm not saying that man ain't fun, but a woman is just a beautiful explosion of that. That's why he said that you guys are chaos. It's beautiful chaos, because it's like you want to explore, you want to enjoy, you want to go
That's
somewhere.
what my guy, he was like saying, women want to live life, men prepare for death.
Yeah, that's so true, you know. That's so exactly.
Men prepare to die.
Because when I see the way my girl walks around sometimes, I'm like, right, you didn't even notice that. There was like 3 crazy guys at 3 doors, and they're like, gonna do a madness. And like, I'm there like on scan mode, making sure that everybody's cool. She's like, la 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 la, like she's just enjoying life. And and that means so much that it's so easy for you guys to do stuff. So what, am I trying to restrict you doing that? No, like, live your life. But at the same time, that can, especially depending on how confident the man is, depending on it, that can impact his perception of self, which is why, there's nothing better than, just for future reference, there's nothing better than you coming home and saying to that man, I didn't want to go there, babe, just because I didn't want you to, there's nothing better. Not, obviously, you don't always have to do it, but just for future reference, there's no better feeling than a woman making you understand that her actions was impacted by you, and you are one of the things that it feels like, okay, and it makes him now, the next time, a man's going to be more free, because it's like she's thinking like that. And that's why my wife, she's so amazing, because she is one of those people that can be, she's so like, she doesn't entertain men, but then again, she's so lovely. Like, if you meet her on the street right now,
she is.
she could talk to you. A man, she could talk to her for 20 minutes, but at the same time, he's not gonna be able to have any frame of reference that would think. Most likely, she's not gonna talk to him. That's most likely. But if you can communicate with her like, this is sister, brother, and you actually wanted to have a conversation about something, she wants to like show you love. But anything that would be anything like that, she's just gonna do like that. And for me, understanding I've got a woman that would keep like that, that keeps it 100 for me to know that, she can go far, she can go, do you know what I mean? At the same time, we're still living in this treacherous world. And what we're seeing on Instagram and stuff, what we're seeing in the world makes us just shook.
I mean, I you know what, that was actually really good from for me to take in. Like, I get that part where you just I mean, I was thinking, and I did say to him, I actually didn't want to go, and I felt sad, but I explained the situation to him, like I didn't want to go.
Okay, that's good. You
and
like that,
and I just thought it was a bit rude to just be like, okay then bye, but I'd actually wanted to come back, and I wasn't sure if it's okay with you, because I was in such a like, and really and truly, regardless of him or not, I wanted to get back to him. I was tired, I was drained, and even going there was like a really bad decision, because those people had really bad energy.
Oh, really?
They were nice in my face, but after that, I started having a migraine and feeling physically sick.
Wow.
So I know what kind of energy, like white Americans in finance world, slave owners kind of like energy. That's what it felt to me. I don't know, whatever. But I really had like almost like, I fainted almost next after, and I was so happy to get back to him, and I was like, I shouldn't have gone, but I still feel like
you explained to him, and it's like,
I did, but I still went.
And I think as well, like, that thing of like, we have such a we have such an entitlement. We're so individualistic in our way of being that we don't even really believe in somebody else's right to say something to us. And to me, that's where my issue with me and my missus, we only have an issue when you act like I don't have a right to that thing. And that's why we will. I'm not going to tell you it has to go like this because I don't know what you want and you don't know what I want. So we have to figure it out. But us acting like I'm going to do what I want and whatever you think
No,
of,
that's not happening.
that's
It's
not
true.
the way this
I agree.
dynamic
I
is going to
agree.
play out
I
because
agree.
I'm living as a man. When a man holds down a woman, he gives himself up in a way that is not natural to him. I'm not saying it's not natural, but you see, to have one woman, the way to have one woman successfully, concentrate on your woman. That's the way to do it. Man don't naturally concentrate on one woman. It's not natural for us. We naturally yo, what's going on over there? Oh, what? Oh, wow. It's natural for us. But when you're in a relationship, when you wanna be that kind of guy, you have to concentrate and focus on her, bro. Don't when someone says stare at this spot, don't get distracted. Like meditation, you have to meditate on your woman. And I'm not saying that a woman doesn't have to do that. Obviously, attractive man, but you're more inclined. Like the more time you spend with someone, the more you're gonna be focusing on them. It's like your love grows like that. And a man's one. Well, go on, what?
Yes. I guess to a certain extent, but I think when it gets into the many years of being together,
it's the same.
I think we need to stop the idea that women don't have any sexual desires out of relationships with men and that it's not natural. I don't think that's true. You don't have to go even and talk about African tribes because there's enough African tribes where women can have more than one man. There's enough.
I've got a question then.
Yeah. Anyways, no, but I'm just saying you don't need to just get into that. It's also historically proven that women don't want to have sex with the same man for the rest of their life.
Okay, so here's my question. Do you think that women, because to me in my mind, right, if I ever got in a situation where a woman cheated on me, I think that the woman, that's because I'm not doing my job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it's a sexual thing. Obviously, Carmen knows saying me lay it down, but at the same time,
yeah,
okay. I know that women they're not sex driven like that. So
I'm intimacy driven, yeah.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So then, do you hear what I'm saying? So I'm saying that it's because I'm not doing my job right.
I mean, if you want to blame it on yourself, then I'm happy with that too.
Yeah,
I need to go and get some new dick.
No, but it's
your fault. No, yes, I love that. Exactly. It's his fault. Yeah.
Some new dick, or she getting some intimacy where she's missing it. She's got a lack of intimacy, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But either way, it doesn't change the situation.
Doesn't.
Because it doesn't. Because if I'm with my guy now and I cheat and I'll be like, oh baby, like you didn't give me intimacy, you're gonna be like, okay then. No. And you know what? That's cheat. It's not gonna fix the intimacy neither. Because at the end of the day, like I know that.
Yeah, it's not.
I just know and it's hard to fix intimacy issue in a relationship. Once it's gone, and I've been there, once it's gone, how there should literally be a course for couples to help them refresh the intimacy bit. Because you can have sex, boom, boom, bam, bam, but you need intimacy. And I think men underestimate how important it is to them as well.
Okay.
You know? Okay. You think maybe it's just you want to just fuck and you just want to put your thing into another woman, but maybe you as a man, maybe you also miss intimacy.
But we're missing it for the woman as well. Like at the end of the day, we need to put importance on it for her.
Yeah.
Even if it's not just for.
Hey, you're right. Long time. Hi. Yes. Good.
Yeah, even if it's just for. You don't want it to be just for you but even if it's just for her, it shouldn't be underestimated because to me, I'm sometimes I know my energy can sometimes be if it is not banging, if I'm not making the dough I want to be making, if I'm not if things are not going the way I need them to go,
can't let go and just love your
I can't love my wife well. Yeah, I'm not. It's not good for me. It's not. If I don't feel like family is moving the way we should be moving. If we're waking up late, if I'm smoking, if I'm just feeling Dio, you could be doing so much better in your life, and this is here. My family is not going to get the best of me. And I think, but there's sometimes I remember, because I could be so conscious about it. I can be so conscious about being a better husband, because to me, like you guys just like fun. Women just like fun. So as long as you have fun with her, she said, but men don't necessarily always care about fun. Do you know what I mean?
We
Like,
have some real problems.
like we have real problems. You know what I mean? Like life is real to us. So it's like, if unless it's popping, like I'm not trying to have fun. So then sometimes I like really consciously, like I have fun with my wife, and I see that our intimacy grows, and I see that she loves having me at those points way more than when I'm just on there. So I have to remind myself to bring it, but it's not natural to us. So you're right. We actually do need some kind of course or teaching that can remind us to, like be that person